Hello, damsels. In a world where personalities are often categorized, labeled, and neatly packaged, there exists a rare breed that defies classification, the Sigma female. She's not your average protagonist in life's drama. She's the enigmatic anti-heroine lurking in the shadows, quietly observing the chaos unfolding around her. While others crave the spotlight, she finds solace in the shadows, navigating the intricacies of existence with a quiet grace that's both mesmerizing and intimidating. But make no mistake, beneath her calm exterior lies a tempest of intellect, resilience, and unyielding determination. She's not one to be trifled with, for her strength lies not in brute force or loud declarations, but in the silent power of her conviction and the unwavering depth of her character. So, before you even entertain the thought of provoking a Sigma female, pause for a moment and consider the consequences. For to challenge her is to invite a whirlwind of consequences that may leave you questioning your own sanity. In this exploration of the unspoken truths behind provoking a Sigma female, prepare to delve deep into the labyrinth of her psyche, where nothing is as it seems, and every action has a consequence. Number 1. Intellectual combatant. Ladies, Sigma. Females are like intellectual juggernauts. They've spent years cultivating their minds, sharpening their critical thinking skills, and absorbing knowledge like sponges. When you decide to provoke one, you're essentially challenging them to a battle of wits. But here's the thing, they're not just going to engage in a back-and-forth exchange of insults or petty arguments. Oh no, they're going to come at you with a level of intellectual firepower that might just leave you reeling. See, Sigma females aren't content with just winning an argument. They want to utterly annihilate their opponents. They'll pick apart your arguments with surgical precision, exposing every flaw, inconsistency, and logical fallacy along the way. And they won't stop until they've reduced your position to nothing more than a pile of intellectual rubble. But here's the really brutal part. They'll do it all with a calm, collected demeanor that's almost unnerving. While you're busy flailing around, trying to come up with a coherent response, they'll be cool as a cucumber, methodically dismantling everything you thought you knew. So if you're thinking about provoking a Sigma female, you'd better be prepared to bring your A-game. Because if you're not, you're going to find yourself outmatched, outclassed, and thoroughly humbled by someone who's operating on a level that's simply beyond your reach. Number 2. Uncompromising integrity. Damsels, Sigma females are like moral compasses set in stone. They have principles and values that they hold onto tighter than a drowning man clutching a life raft. So when you try to provoke one, you're essentially poking at the foundation of their entire belief system. Here's the brutal truth. Sigma females don't compromise on their integrity. They don't bend the rules or cut corners to get ahead. And if you try to push them into a moral grey area, you're going to find yourself sorely mistaken. See, Sigma females see the world in black and white. There's right, and there's wrong, and there's no room for ambiguity. So when you come at them with some shady scheme or underhanded tactic, don't be surprised when they shoot you down faster than you can say ethics. And here's the kicker. They won't just call you out on your BS, they'll make you question your own moral compass. They'll hold up a mirror to your actions and force you to confront the uncomfortable truth about yourself. So if you're thinking about provoking a Sigma female, be prepared to face the consequences of your actions. Because once you cross that line, there's no going back. And trust me, you don't want to find yourself on the wrong side of a Sigma female's moral judgment. Damsels, if you're enjoying the deep dive into the world of Sigma females and uncovering the truths behind provoking them, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community of curious minds. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on future videos delving into fascinating topics like this one. So keep watching, keep learning, and don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Number 3. Emotional fortress. Sigma females are emotionally resilient to the core. They're not your average damsels in distress who crumble at the first sign of trouble. No, they're more like emotional fortresses, built to withstand even the fiercest storms. So, when you try to provoke one, don't expect them to break down in tears, or fly off the handle in a fit of rage. Here's the harsh reality. Sigma females have an uncanny ability to shrug off insults and slights like they're water off a duck's back. Your attempts to undermine them or hurt their feelings will likely bounce off them like rubber bullets against a tank. And while you're busy trying to rattle their cage, they'll be standing there, cool as a cucumber, wondering why you're wasting your breath. But here's the kicker. It's not that they're immune to emotions, it's just that they have a superhuman ability to control them. They've mastered the art of emotional regulation to the point where they can take a hit and keep on trucking without missing a beat. So if you're thinking about provoking a Sigma female, be prepared for a reality check, because chances are your attempts to get under their skin will only serve to highlight your own emotional fragility, and trust me, that's not a good look on anyone. Now at number 4, unpredictability. Damsels, Sigma females are like wildcards in a deck of playing cards, unpredictable and capable of throwing a curveball when you least expect it. Unlike predictable personalities, they don't adhere to conventional rules of engagement, making them a formidable opponent to provoke. Here's the blunt truth. When you try to provoke a Sigma female, you're playing with fire. You might expect a predictable reaction like anger or defensiveness, but what you get could be anything but. They're masters of surprise, capable of flipping the script and leaving you scratching your head in confusion. But here's where it gets real. Their unpredictability isn't just a quirk, it's a strategic advantage. By keeping their opponents on their toes, they maintain the upper hand in any situation. So, when you think you've got them figured out, think again. And here's the kicker, their unpredictability isn't just limited to their reactions, it extends to their actions as well. They're not afraid to take risks or think outside the box, which means that provoking them could lead to consequences that you never saw coming. So if you're thinking about provoking a Sigma female, be prepared for the unexpected, because when you play with fire, you're bound to get burned. And trust me, you don't want to be on the receiving end of a surprise attack from someone who's always one step ahead. Number 5. Social independence. Sigma females are like islands in a sea of humanity, self-sufficient and perfectly content to stand alone. Unlike social butterflies who thrive on the company of others, they value quality over quantity when it comes to relationships. Here's the unvarnished truth. Trying to provoke a Sigma female by isolating her or turning others against her is like trying to push a boulder uphill. She's not dependent on social circles for validation or support, so your attempts to undermine her social standing will likely fall flat. But here's where it gets real. Her independence isn't just a personality trait, it's a superpower. By being selective about who she lets into her inner circle, she ensures that her relationships are built on trust and mutual respect, rather than superficiality. And here's the kicker. Trying to manipulate or control a Sigma female's social life is a fool's errand. She's fiercely protective of her autonomy and won't hesitate to cut ties with anyone who tries to undermine it. So, if you're thinking about provoking a Sigma female by messing with her social life, think again. Because trying to break her bonds of friendship is like trying to break a diamond with a hammer. You'll only end up hurting yourself in the process. Number 6. Relentless focus. Damsels, Sigma females, are like laser-focused warriors on a mission. They know what they want, and they're not easily distracted by petty provocations. So, when you try to provoke one, be prepared to face off against someone with a relentless focus that's as sharp as a razor blade. Here's the plain truth. Sigma females don't waste time on trivialities or meaningless distractions. They have goals, dreams, and ambitions, and they'll stop at nothing to achieve them. So your attempts to throw them off course with your provocations will likely be met with a steely resolve that borders on unshakable. But here's where it gets real. Their focus isn't just a personality quirk, it's a superpower. By zeroing in on what truly matters to them, they're able to cut through the noise and make meaningful progress toward their goals. And here's the kicker. Trying to provoke a Sigma female by throwing obstacles in her path is like trying to stop a freight train with a feather. You'll only succeed in wasting your own time and energy while she powers ahead, undeterred by your feeble attempts to trip her up. So if you're thinking about provoking a Sigma female by trying to distract her from her goals, think again. Because she's not someone who's easily swayed, and trying to throw her off course will only leave you eating her dust. Number 7. Intimidating self-sufficiency. Absolutely, Sigma females are like survival experts in the wilderness of life. They've honed their self-sufficiency to a fine art, making them incredibly adept at handling whatever challenges come their way. So, when you try to provoke one by questioning her independence or self-reliance, be prepared to see just how capable she truly is. Here's the unfiltered truth. Sigma females don't need anyone else to hold their hand or bail them out when things get tough. They're perfectly capable of standing on their own 2 feet, thank you very much. So, your attempts to undermine their self-sufficiency will likely be met with a steely resolve that's as unyielding as it is impressive. But here's where it gets real. Their self-sufficiency isn't just a personality trait, it's a way of life. They've learned to trust in their own abilities and instincts, and they're not about to let anyone else dictate their path. So when you try to provoke them by questioning their independence, you're not just challenging their character, you're challenging their entire worldview. And here's the kicker. Trying to provoke a Sigma female by questioning her self-sufficiency is like trying to knock down a brick wall with a feather. You might think you're making a dent, but in reality, you're just wasting your time and energy. So, if you're thinking about provoking a Sigma female by questioning her self-sufficiency, think again, because she's not someone who's easily rattled by outside opinions or judgments. And trying to make her doubt herself will only serve to highlight your own insecurities in comparison. Number 8. Strategic thinker. Sigma females are like chess grandmasters in the game of life. They're strategic thinkers who plan their moves several steps ahead, making them formidable opponents to provoke. When you try to provoke one, you're essentially stepping onto their chessboard, and they're already 10 moves ahead of you. Here's the harsh reality. Sigma females don't react impulsively or emotionally to provocations. Instead, they pause, assess the situation, and formulate a calculated response that's designed to outmaneuver and outwit their opponent. So your attempts to provoke them will likely be met with a counter-move that leaves you scrambling to catch up. But here's where it gets real. Their strategic thinking isn't just a skill, it's a mindset. They approach every situation with a level of foresight and planning that's as impressive as it is intimidating. So, when you try to provoke them, you're not just facing off against a single individual. You're facing off against an entire strategic framework that's been carefully constructed to ensure their success. And here's the kicker. Trying to provoke a Sigma female is like playing a game of mental chess against a grandmaster. You might think you have the upper hand, but in reality, you're just a pawn in their master plan. And when they finally make their move, you'll realize that you never stood a chance. So if you're thinking about provoking a Sigma female, be prepared for a battle of wits that you're unlikely to win. Because when it comes to strategic thinking, they're in a league of their own, and trying to outsmart them is like trying to outswim a shark. It's a losing proposition from the start. In the tangled web of human interactions, the Sigma female stands as a testament to the complexity of the human spirit. She's not just a character in life's narrative, she's the architect of her own destiny, forging her path with an unwavering resolve that commands respect and admiration. As we conclude this journey into the heart and mind of the Sigma female, one thing becomes abundantly clear. Provoking her is not a task to be taken lightly. Behind her calm demeanor lies a formidable force of nature, capable of weathering any storm and emerging stronger on the other side. So before you attempt to test her boundaries or challenge her resolve, tread carefully and consider the weight of your actions. For in the game of life, the Sigma female is not just a player. She's the master of her own fate, and to underestimate her is to do so at your own peril. In the end, the truth remains. Provoking a Sigma female is not for the faint of heart. But for those brave enough to venture into the depths of her complexity, the rewards are boundless, for she's a force to be reckoned with, an enigma waiting to be unraveled, a mystery waiting to be solved. Thank you for watching, damsels. See you in the next vid. Bye and stay blessed.